Iguanas are the chillest reptiles ever. This is an iguana. It's hanging out on this rock. It's not doing anything too crazy, just chilling. But there's a reason they're so chill, right? And it's because of their diet. Iguanas are herbivores. They don't eat meat. They're not carnivorous. They don't even eat bugs. They only consume plants. And this makes them a lot less stressed out than other reptiles. You see, being an iguana is kind of like being a rabbit. You're basically the starter pack for the predator's food chain. Like all a snake needs to get bigger and stronger is to eat a couple of iguanas. So most reptiles try to avoid being eaten by becoming nocturnal or hiding in logs during the day. But iguanas have another trick. They snooze through the day, which isn't the best strategy if you're a chameleon trying to hunt bugs. But for an iguana, it works great. See, since they're not worried about getting eaten, they don't really need to run around a lot, so they spend most of their days sleeping until sunset. At that point, they come out of their hiding holes and nom some plants before heading back to their cozy beds. But iguanas don't live in cozy beds. They live in trees. And it turns out that sleeping while hanging from a branch is harder than it looks. If you try to fall asleep while hanging upside down, your head starts to fall towards the ground. And although this iguana doesn't look like he's struggling, it takes a lot of energy to keep his head from hitting the dirt. But over millions of years, iguanas have evolved to be able to sleep while hanging upside down without falling. And they do this with their claws. See, most mammals hang upside down from branches using their claws to keep themselves from falling like these little flying lemurs. But iguanas aren't mammals. They're reptiles, which means that they can't grab onto things with their claws like mammals can. Instead, they have to curl their claws into special grooves on their toes to stay upright. These grooves are called the sulcus, singular sulcus, and they help the iguanas distribute the weight of their bodies while hanging upside down. And thanks to these special claws, iguanas can lounge on branches all day without falling and without using up tons of energy. And if they do fall, they have a big, long tail to help them balance themselves. In fact, the majority of their body is tail. But even though they're chilling, their tails aren't just for show. They're actually really good at flicking their tails back and forth, which helps them steer themselves while they're climbing around in the trees. Kind of like how a fish uses its tail to steer itself through the water. But the coolest thing about their tails is that they can drop them. If an iguana gets grabbed by a predator, it can drop its tail to escape. And then the predator will be left holding on to a very unappetizing lizard tail. The iguana gets to live another chill day. They're also surprisingly good swimmers. When they're in the water, their tails act like rudders on a boat, steering them through the current. And their claws become paddles, helping them catch prey or maybe just nam some aquatic plants. And they're fast, too. On land, they can run at 12 miles per hour, which is way faster than I can run after eating a bag of leaves. And once they get tired, they just climb up a tree and take a nice long nap. These guys really know how to live. If only humans could evolve to be chill like iguanas. We could spend all day watching Netflix instead of stressing out about our deadlines. We should probably start acting more like iguanas, like taking a couple of naps during the day and not worrying about what other people think. Yeah, life would be better if we were more like iguanas. And that's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.